Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Quarantine Kitchen. I'm your host, Paul Desman. Thank you so much for the feedback you gave me on the last episode. I hope your burgers turn out great. I'm sure they'll be awesome. I also got some feedback about what am I drinking while I'm cooking in Quarantine Kitchen. Usually it's whiskey or wine, but since you asked, I'm going to make a White Russian, and here's how.
Put some ice in a glass and then grab some vodka, some Kahlua, and some milk. It's good to start with the vodka because it's clear so you can see how drunk you'll get. Then add the Kahlua. You can figure out the amount by how much you love coffee. Fill the rest of the glass with a good amount of milk and stir it all together.
Now we're ready to cook! Today, we're going to make Cajun stuffed chicken on rice with garlic asparagus. For our recipe, we will need some chicken, of course, some colorful peppers, 1 whole onion. We will, of course, need some asparagus. This was the last batch of asparagus at the grocery store, because it's quarantine. We will also need some rice, some cheddar cheese, some quarantine garlic in a jar, and we will need a bunch of seasonings, which I'll get into a little bit later. Let's get started.
Washing your hands is still an essential part of cooking anything. I like to think of it as the first ingredient in any recipe. It's not very flavorful, but it does make everything taste much better. Remember, your veggies like to share in the cleanliness too, so feel free to bring them along when you wash your hands. Your stomach will thank you for it later. Then get a cookie sheet. For asparagus, we can still use aluminum foil since that has not failed me yet. Make it the length of the sheet, tear it off, and form it to its shape. Once the foil is in place, we just need to chop the bottoms of our asparagus off, remove the rubber bands, and set them aside. Then chop up the peppers and onion and separate them into a bowl. This is going to be the basis of what we stuff the chicken with. And if you've watched Quarantine Kitchen before, you know that we're going to add some cheese a little later. Once you get all that chopped up, here's another tip I learned. Grab a Ziploc bag. Put the asparagus into the bag with a little olive oil and, of course, as much garlic as you want. When you're all set, seal the bag tightly, leaving a little bit of air inside. Shake the bag around. If you feel like dancing, we don't judge here. I said we don't judge here.
Drink break.
When you're done getting down with the veggies, toss them onto the cookie sheet and arrange them however you like. You may find that this gives you oily hands. I did, and I want to prevent the spread of oil to other things. And I get out the salt and the pepper to add on top. Here at Quarantine Kitchen, we don't worry about how much pepper we put on it. Seriously, it's great. For the seasoning, I found some dry grounds of chicken, some basil, garlic salt, and the main feature ingredient, all-purpose Cajun flavor. Put them all in a bowl. If you're feeling spicy, add more Cajun. Mix it together and set it aside. Then grab the chicken and carve out a pocket. Try not to cut yourself. When you've made a good-sized pocket, move the chicken away and repeat this process until all the pieces are done. Oh, yeah, right. Raw chicken, wash your hands. Don't want to spread chicken. Put some oil on a plate and roll the chicken around in it. Get a pinch of Cajun seasoning and rub it all over the chicken. Set it aside and repeat this process again until all the pieces are done. Right, raw chicken, wash your hands. Got it. Now put some oil on a pan and fire it up to 11. Dump the veggie mix in when it's hot. Add a little more salt and pepper. Seriously, it's great. And this is where you learn that time-lapse video of vegetables cooking is not that interesting, no matter how many times you stir it. When they're kind of soft and seem ready, empty the pan into their previous bowl. Drop some cheese on the counter and add a handful of cheese to the bowl. When you go to mix it up, how? Don't use your hands because it is still very hot. Lesson learned. Get a pink spoon. Actually, get a wooden spoon because the pink spoon tragically lost its life during the making of this video. A moment of silence. Moving on. After getting sensation back in your fingers, pick up the chicken and stuff the veggie mix into the pocket. Close the chicken around the pocket and set it aside. Repeat this process until all the pieces are done. I've said this 3 times now. Man, this chicken is needy. Anyway, heat up more oil in the pan. When you drop the chicken in, That's the sound of doing it right. You're going to want to flip them over a few times so that they cook through. And you didn't think we were done with the cheese yet, did you? Come on! In Quarantine Kitchen, we throw cheese on the chicken. Just cover them all up and put the entire pan in the oven. Remember to turn the burner off too, to avoid losing your eyebrows. Close call. This chicken is so needy it didn't want to be in the oven alone, so I put the asparagus in with it. Then I boiled some water for the rice. When it bubbles, toss the rice in. Stir it up every now and then, preferably with a dead pink spoon. Stir carefully. When you put the lid on the pot and take it off, the rice is done. A little bit of lemon zest in the rice goes a long way. Try not to cut yourself. Then throw in some butter, stir it up, and put the lid back on until you're ready to serve.
It's important to pause to take a drink.
Before time escapes you, get everything out of the oven, make a bed of rice on a plate, and put a piece of chicken on top. Add the asparagus on the side, but watch out for the anxious random hand hell-bent on stealing your dinner.
And that's how we make Cajun stuffed chicken on rice with garlic asparagus. I'm your host, Paul Desman. This has been Quarantine Kitchen. See you next time.